I was able to see The Boy and the Heron a couple days early. Is it another Miyazaki masterpiece? Let's find out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. As I said in the intro, we're going to be reviewing The Boy and the Heron. Before we get started, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. I'm going to read you guys a quick plot synopsis just so you know what the movie is about. Mahito, a young 12-year-old boy, struggles to settle in a new town after his mother's death. However, when a talking heron informs Mahito that his mother is still alive, he enters an abandoned tower in search of her, which takes him to another world. Alright, before we get any deeper on The Boy and the Heron, I do want to talk about Miyazaki and his movies, because he did announce that this was going to be his last movie, but then he actually said a little bit after that, that he is going to continue making movies. I just got to say, I'm really happy that he's continuing to make movies, because he just is a fantastic storyteller, and like one of the, I don't know if I want to say he is, but I think he is the master of like animation and storytelling while making great characters, giving you some very emotional moments while doing it. And I don't think he's made a bad film. I've seen all of his 12 main major films that he's made, and man, I don't think any of them are bad. I think the lowest one I have is Ponyo, just because it's a little too childish for me and doesn't really connect with me too much. But most of them are like on the great level or above. Like something like Spirited Away, The Wind Rises, so emotional. Some of those movies are really emotional. I love how he can handle, like in movies, he can handle making friendships with his characters in movies, or he can make his characters have romances, like in The Wind Rises. I thought that romance worked a lot. I love him to enter another like romantic movie. I think he did a great job with that. But I'm so mesmerized by what he's able to make, how he's able to just, imagine these kind of stories, this kind of animation. It's just really spectacular that we have someone in the business, and he's really thriving with every movie that he makes. He just has some great imagination, some great, he really has it all. I'm kind of jealous of him, but I'm happy that we get all these great movies from him. I'm happy that I'm growing up in a time where I get to see all these movies. I haven't seen, 2 weeks before this, I saw The Boy and the Heron. I haven't seen hardly any of his movies, but I binged them last week, and I gotta say, I'm very happy I did it. I might do a ranking on the channel, might not, because I'd be talking about him for too long. But The Boy and the Heron was the first Miyazaki movie that I've ever seen in theaters, and I got to see in IMAX too, so that was a great experience. I'm not sure if it was an IMAX ratio, but it was pretty big on IMAX. I'm not sure, but the sound was just great. I was so happy that this was the first one I was able to see, and especially in IMAX. I love the IMAX theater. I think people are more respectful in that theater because they do pay, the higher price for that. The animation here, it's amazing. The animation for all the Miyazaki Studio Ghibli films are all amazing. You just gotta really feast. It's a feast for your eyes at that point. I just fell in love with the world that we were put into, even though it kind of was a harsh world at the start, because it does take place during the war. And every frame of this movie just looks like it could be put in a picture frame, and put up on the wall. It's crazy how great this movie is. And I think why this happens is that, Miyazaki, he uses a lot of colors in his movies, and he uses them at the right times, and I just love when he does that. And he also knows how to use a lot of characters, as we said, and he also knows how to like make, unique animals in his films. If they can talk, sometimes they can't talk, but sometimes they're cute, sometimes they're scary. I love how he's able to just make these new animals, new creatures, and just pick some, animate them in such a weird way sometimes, but such a funny way other times. If you go see this film, which I really gotta recommend this film, I think everyone will find something to like in this film. Especially, it's just the colors that blew me away. Just all the colors that were happening, and a lot of weird animals, but I just loved them every time they came on screen. And I thought the characters of this movie are great. Some very likable characters, especially our main character Mahito, and how he manages to. It's so interesting, and how he adjusts to all these new, their main character Mahito. I really liked how he adjusts to all the new changes in his life, because this movie does have a lot of changes for him since he goes on this large journey, meets a lot of new people, makes a lot of new friends while he's, making this journey. And the film sometimes has a lot of emotional moments and heart, because Mahito is trying to love someone new in his life, but it's kind of hard for him after he's lost someone, pretty large in his life. So I think that was just a very emotional moment for me in the movie, seeing Mahito just try his hardest, find love for someone new in his life while he's also dealing with so much other stuff in this world, so many different changes for him on the way. It just felt like we're watching Mahito go on a whole, odyssey, this film, because sometimes this film does try to juggle a lot of stuff, and this might be, it's kind of like, I guess, a complaint on first watch a little bit, not too major. It tries to juggle a lot. You get a little confused during the second half. I feel like some of that will confuse a lot of other audiences members, but it might work for me and for you on multiple watches, because I did watch the subtitle version first because that was the only one that was available, but I do plan to watch the dub version too. Sometimes I feel like it's a little different when you're watching subtitle and dubbed, but I feel like both of them do work. But I feel like the film was a little confusing at points, but as I said, I feel like it'll work more on another watch. The first 30 minutes is also kind of slow, but I feel like, I don't think that's a complaint, because I feel like that's good, because it helped me get like more used to this world, and it helped me care for like the characters Mahito more before he went on this big journey that he was going on. And I feel like the score in this film was really great. I love the strings. I think there was some piano in there. It's a really calming score. I feel like it really worked. I'm not sure if it's going to get an Oscar nomination for Best Score. We can already lock it up for a nomination for Best Animated Feature. I will be very surprised if it doesn't get nominated for that. I still have Across the Spider-Verse winning for animated feature. I feel like that's just a lock for me at this point. But I gotta say, this movie right here is just, it's very imaginative, and it's a very creative film. I was just kind of blown away by everything happening all at once. Like, it's a lot to take in, as I said, a lot to juggle, but I feel like, I really was like able to love being lost in this world. And even when I was confused, I was still somehow felt connected to these characters and kept getting lured back into this movie, because that's just the magic of what Miyazaki does. He sometimes has, weird moments, sometimes confusing moments, but the next scene, you're already back in, you're already loving the characters in their like journey, their steps to winning their goal. It's a very, interesting thing that Miyazaki's able to do, but I love how he's able to do it. I think he does it in such a special way. And I think that the ending works a lot here. It's a really clear ending that he's able to do. It's not his last film anymore, so I'm very excited to see what he does next after this. But after getting so invested with these characters, like Mahito especially, it's kind of hard to say goodbye to them just at the end of this movie, because you go on such a long journey with them. You kind of want to go on more, journeys with these within the relationships of these characters again. But you're just not going to be able to, because it's just I think it's like a 2 hour and 15-minute film. It's a pretty long film, but you still want to keep going with these characters, because at the end they build such, human relationships that you just want to see them go farther and farther. But the film does have to end, and I'm happy it did, but I'm kind of sad that we don't get to spend time with these characters anymore, because Miyazaki just does a great job at making you feel connected to these characters, making you care about the characters and the animals in different worlds. I just feel like he does a great job with that. So overall, The Boy and the Heron is another win for Hayao Miyazaki. He just does it again every single time, makes some amazing characters, has some great emotion, animation is always spectacular. The film does try to juggle a lot, but I feel like it works in the end. And I feel like, I feel like this one will get better on rewatch. I plan to go watch it a couple more times. So I'm going to give The Boy and the Heron a strong 8.5 out of 10. I feel like that score could easily go up on a rewatch, like I said, but I really do recommend you go watch this if you're a Miyazaki fan. I think you'll love it. If you don't, if it's your first Miyazaki film, go into it with an open mind. I feel like you'll find something to love in it. But I did like it a decent bit. Let me know down in the comments, did you guys go watch The Boy and the Heron? If you did, leave your thoughts down below. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.